Welcome to Diving In with the Waters. We thank you for tuning in tonight. We're going to feature tonight the third episode of the story of Tavon and Shalisa Bradley, a couple who have been together since high school.
In tonight's episode, you will see periods of time in which Shalisa and Tavon considered calling it quits, as well as some other pivotal experiences that have helped to shape their lives together. As you watch this final episode in this series of Diving In with the Waters for this month, we do encourage you to open your hearts as you listen to them share their hearts and consider what God may be speaking to you.
First, my wife and I is not looking for validation or praise from the outside world. We know who we are collectively and individually. What we are doing is just simply sharing a little bit of our story, the ups and downs, where we come from, and how we beat the odds by staying together during troubled times. Secondly, I want to say that before I can go any further in this journey, I want to apologize to all those that I may have lied to, hurt, and manipulated. Forgive me for being selfish and inconsiderate of your feelings, and know that I take full responsibility of my thoughts. And I pray that God will continue to shape me into being a better human being.
I would say me and Tavon, we got to a point at one time when things was pretty rough and divorce was really an option for me. I said it was, for me. I can remember the time even before him getting incarcerated this last time in 2018 where I really just wanted to give up. Give up. I was tired. I even told God, God, I'm tired. I'm done. I'm done with this marriage. And I remember riding to work and God was like, no, you're not. You're not done with this marriage. And I kept going back and forth and I said, yes, I am. I'm done with this marriage, God. And God was saying, no, you're not. I couldn't understand why God was telling me I wasn't finished with this marriage, but I began to be obedient, whatever God had for me to do. So I stayed still and not knowing that same month of August would be the month that he was incarcerated. And I would say that's when it brought about a change, when the light bulb just lit up and said, God said, this is why you couldn't give up. Good morning, babe.
Hey, good morning, boo. Hey, boo. Look, I wanted to share something with you before the phone hang up, because once we get to talking, I'll forget what I wanted to tell you. So when I first came on the TED, it was this guy, older guy. He's like in his 70s or whatever, and he been locked up 48, 49 years or whatever. And just out of the blue, what I'm saying, I don't know who sent them or how they sent them, what I'm saying. Not saying that was the case, but, we just started talking out the blue. And, he was telling me how he had cancer on 2 different occasions, you know what I mean? Like he had it once and, he went through the treatment and stuff, it was gone, then it came back, then he went through the treatment again, then it came back again. So, now it came back again. You know what I'm saying? So, we was talking and, he was he was down and out or whatever. So, I just started just giving him good words of encouragement and stuff like that. And, what I'm saying, just letting him know that, God can, bring him through it again. You know what I'm saying? So I was just telling him just stay strong and, what I'm saying, don't give up. And then, so yesterday, when I was out here in the rec car, he walked up on me, boo, and out of the blue, boo, and just gave me a hug, and it caught me off guard, because you know what I'm saying, you touching me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But man, he just looked at me, and he was just like, man, I just want to thank you, and I'm like, yeah, ain't no problem, you know what I'm saying? But he just had a big smile on his face, man. He like, man, I just wanted to just tell you thank you, you know what I'm saying? So I was going to go, and talk to him today, but when I went to his cell, he was asleep. So I just, just wanted to share that with you, boo. You know what I'm saying? How, just things like that just be happening to me just out of the blue. But that's not the first time, you know what I'm saying, something like that has transpired. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But it just, makes me feel good that, I'm able to, you know what I'm saying, like, assist somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And not, like I say, it's not like all about me, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, a lot of guys be like, walking around here like being like unapproachable, like everybody want to have that mean mugs and broke down and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But it's just a facade, because I know, like, like for real, being here and away from our family, like we really hurting, you know what I'm saying? Like we miss home, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes people just really need a hug, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that with you, though.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's great, because I always told you, like, we never know the situations that we put, that we're put in, and that how God uses us and how God is using you to touch our people, even in the situation that, you're in right now, that we're all in together. God is continuing to use you, you know, um, just to speak and witness to other people, especially the things you've been through. It's not like you haven't been through things in your life and you can't relate to other people, but just hearing the stories and things that you have shared with me and how you're able to relate to others, and even to tell them how good God is, and for them just to be even surprised.
At one point in time, boo, I wouldn't even, do this, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like I say, it's not me, boo. It's really like God. And sometimes I be like at all with myself, because I'm like, what the heck, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it feels good, boo. That brings joy to me, boo. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I'm not, I'm cool with it.
Right. It's just like I said, it's just what I want to say, like a journey that God has us on. It kind of reminds me of Dad, like my father, whatever, like the things that he been through, with me coming up in the household and him being, addicted, like to drugs, to heroin, and at a young age, I didn't realize what was going on until 15, and like, even though I was in a household with a mother and a father, it was those things that was going on, with me. Not understanding what was going on here and there, him pondering things, and, what I'm saying, taking things or whatever, and seeing mommy hurt, what I'm saying, and stuff like that, I didn't understand, and like going through like all of that stuff kind of build up a lot of hatreds, what I'm saying, like in my heart, and it also had me running out, what I'm saying, in the street, running, and not even knowing like what I'm looking for, just running from it. And I just say that to say how even the stuff that Dad had, been through, once he even got himself together, because that was 20 years he was addicted, to that. And once he even got himself together, how he wasn't even ashamed. He wasn't ashamed to talk about it. He wasn't ashamed to stand on those same corners that we all would be on, out there singing and praising, shouting and witnessing to others. He was not ashamed. So it's kind of like, regardless of like what we've been through and stuff like that, for us to not be ashamed to talk about it, just like, we are doing now, being able to share and help and witness, to other people, because like that helped me even going through that situation. Like I said, there was a lot of hatred in my heart for my own father. And it took me up until like 20, like I was in my 20s to be able to learn how to forgive him.
I would just say, like, unresolved issues from our childhood trauma, it often leads to like psychological problems when we become an adult. We, what I'm saying, but we don't really have to be prisoners of our past. Like, we can overcome anything and go on to live like a positive and a productive life. I don't care like what it is: sexual, physical, emotional abuse, parental neglect, being misled by people that we may have trusted the most. The main thing is we just gotta like find somebody to talk to and let that burden go. Just leave it in the past, because as long as we keep things bottled up, we won't fully be able to live our lives the way that the way we want to. You know what I'm saying? Like because we're always like it'll be something that hinders us. You know what I mean? Or something small that could trigger. You know what I'm saying, like something that may have happened to us in the past, and then, we get depressed and stuff. So the best thing, like, I would say is, like, to just find somebody to talk to and you know what I mean, and just let it go. God, let it go.
It's not always like pointing a finger at somebody else, or it's not like doing evil for evil. You know, even when we were going through like our little thing and, you know, like our separation, it wasn't like I was out there looking for anybody. You know, of course I was like hurt, but there was a time where as though, you know, I did run across somebody, you know, somebody. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, we can be very vulnerable, you know, in a vulnerable state, like when you going through things, you know. And sometimes God has to step in, you know. Of course, sometimes we could think we hiding things and, you know, like, oh, all right, well, he don't know, nobody don't know, you know, like what I'm doing. But some way you found out that you knew what I was doing, you know. So I was like,
and I ain't gonna lie. Once I found out, I said, nope, it's time for me to go home. Time for me to go home. Time for me to go home.
Hey, Tavon, can you hear us?
Hey, what's going on, Pat? Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome.
Can y'all can hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
How you feeling?
All right. What's going on, Al? How you doing? I'm doing good.
I'm good.
I'm doing good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Being as though we're locked down due to the pandemic, you know, we don't really have no type of you know, religious services. So, you know, with the help of Charlisa, you know, she sends me like, you know, books and, you know, literature and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm able to like read and, you know, like focus on that. And like basically I'm in my cell like 23 hours a day. So I have, you know, a lot of time to, you know, sit back and, you know, read and, you know, just reflect on like my life and, you know, give praise to God, and that's basically it though.
Mm-hmm. Are there others who may talk openly about their faith that you can talk to when you are able to be out of your cell?
Yes, there's like a few guys, but a lot of times though, guys in here don't really like you know, turn to like religion and stuff. You know, they be occupied like doing other things. But the ones that do, you know, turn to God and, you know, want to like have we have like prayer circles and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I join those. You know, but for the most part, though, you know, we don't really like, you know, congregate out on like, you know, the tears and stuff like that.
Is there a chaplain who comes or who's available to the inmates?
No, not at the moment. Only because, you know, we're locked down. So,
Gotcha.
You know, we have to just really make do on, you know, like what we have and, you know, how strong, you know, like some, you know, everybody faith is the same. Some people faith are stronger than others, you know what I mean? So, you know, we just basically, it's like each one teach one, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we just lean on each other, you know, for that strength and, you know what I mean, that guidance and, you know, stay focused that way because like the chaplain don't come around at all, you know what I mean? So basically like I call home and may, you know, share something with Charlisa that I may have read or, you know, we just talk about, you know, the goodness of the greatness of God, you know what I mean? So most of the time when we talk, so that's basically that. I mean, that's like congregational, I guess. Sure. You know, when it's like two or more people, so. Yeah, so I mean, it feels good though. It definitely feels good when we do that.
Yeah, the word says where there are two or three who come together in his name, he's in the midst. So you and Charlisa having that time together, his presence is there, and you know, you all are able to pray and feel his presence just as if you were in a building full of people in a church.
Like it's amazing to me because, like I said, you know, I didn't grow up like in a church setting. Only time I might have went to a church when I was younger was probably like when my mom had got like married. You know what I mean? So really, like church, it was introduced to me through, you know what I mean, Charlisa, like you know, her mother and father. they had, invited me to come, and I used to be like, no, I ain't going no church. And, I was thinking about, like, what I'm going to wear to church? I ain't got nothing to wear to church. I thought I had to, dress all up and stuff like that. But, I remember the first time I came, though, I was, like, a little nervous, but, the service was definitely good, and, I really enjoyed myself. But really, I didn't, like, have no religion that, I was following, because at one point in time I had, claimed to Islam, So that was basically like, basically like people around me was doing it, like, my brothers and cousins and uncles. So that's what I had chose to, follow. But as time went on and, me reading more and understanding more, I knew that, what was being taught in Islam wasn't something that, I just felt like it wasn't right for me. It wasn't, you know what I mean? So, I just, so I just turned back to, the Christianity, ways, and that's just.
You had shared, or we had shared in the first episode, that the number of years that you've been sentenced is almost equivalent to a life sentence. But when we hear your voice, you have such a lightness and a joy in your tone. If we were having a bad day, we feel better having talked to you. So what would you say motivates you to get up each day and to do what you consider to be your purpose? And, was it always that way for you?
Well, the motivation basically for me is that knowing that I have my life, you know what I mean? Because the way that, I used to live out there on the streets, I could have, been, dead, and then as though that I just have life that I'm breathing, I just appreciate it even more. And, that just was like, just keeps me like going every day, and like just praying to God, asking for the strength, to carry on, because like, I always see that it's always someone that's in, a worse, predicament than me. So I'm just thankful for, the blessings that, I have, and I just keep pushing. And then, I have my, my family, my wife, my children, they give me motivation just to, keep pushing, knowing that I do have someone out there, you know what I mean, that loves me, you know what I mean. I know that I'm being loved, so that's basically like, my motivation to just, keep going. And I know, like, I truly believe that even though true, I do have the time that I have, I don't really like claim it.
Yeah.
I don't claim it. It's like it's like I'm a traveler here. Like I'm just like, just passing by. You know what I mean? I know God has a purpose for my life, so I'm just being, obedient. So I know that I just gotta keep pushing. I don't like give up. My faith is, strong, and I just gotta keep pushing.
I believe that your presence and your influence while you're there is far greater than what you even know at this point. So be encouraged. I believe what you said. You're there, and it may say in paper or on the books what your time is, but your time is given by God. He is the one who is in control. So I just really commend you for your level of faith and conviction that you have during such a difficult situation.
Yes, and I just thank God for it. It's basically I give like the credit to God, because like that's like God is like my strength. He's my rock, and like I truly believe that. I stand firm on it, and I'm a just keep trusting in God, and just knowing that He can He will get me through this. I know He will.
Absolutely.
Right now.
That's good.
We too believe that, your sentence is not, what God has for you. And, I have visions of you, coming out and talking to groups of men, not necessarily preaching. Some people get nervous when you say preach, but just being an encouragement to other men. And I believe that because of your testimony, because of what you have gone through over the course of your life, that you will be able to reach many people, men and women, but you'll be able to reach many people and be able to draw them to Christ, be able to, through your testimony, to cause men to turn their lives over to Christ. So I believe that for you, and we are praying that God will,
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Oh, wow.
turn things around in your favor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we didn't know that the time was going to cut off, but we really appreciate you. We love you so much. Please be encouraged.
And I love y'all so much more.
Yeah,
Yes.
be encouraged and know that the power of the Lord is with you.
I definitely will. I love y'all. I love y'all so much.
We love you too,
Love y'all
Tavon.
so much.
Love you too.
All right.
Love
Take
y'all so
care,
much.
man.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right.
I was sitting up here and I was just thinking about, all of the children as a whole, just continuing, like to pray for them and everything, because I know, like, the children, they are really, like, really going through a lot. All of them. All 9 of them. I know they're going through a lot, wanting you here, missing you,
Right.
and all of that. So I'm just praying for them
Right.
as a whole,
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, because, like, babe, I know for a fact that, me being incarcerated is affecting them each, differently, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh man, here it goes, then, daddy gone again, you know what I'm saying? And, being as though, like, I wasn't there, in their early years, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of like, it kind of seems like, what I'm doing is what happened to me, you know what I'm saying? So I know that, emotionally, they are like going through something, you know what I'm saying? And that's why, like, I definitely, do my best on, like, writing letters and stuff like that, and just let them know that, I'm thinking about them and I'm missing them, you know what I'm saying? Even though I'm absent, from out the household, I still, you know what I'm saying, at least try to communicate through, the pen and paper.
As a blended family, there's a lot that they don't even know about us on the marriage. I mean, of course, we know what they saw, but they don't know everything. Like, what lessons would you like to, would you want to teach the children?
I would say, like, in life there will be some ups and downs, some pains and sorrow. But when you come, face to face with a stumbling block, don't give up. Just pray, and then just get back up, brush yourself off, and just keep pushing. And know that, God will see you through any hardship. It won't be painless, it won't be quick, but God will definitely use, this mess for the good. In the meantime, like, I don't want them to, like, be foolish or naive, but don't despair either. With God's help, you will get through whatever it is you're going through.
Just pray about it.
And that's and that's like a big thing for me now, boo. Because at first, I wasn't like, I didn't know this, you know what I'm saying? But now it's like, now that I know, and like mostly everything that I approach, boo, I always like start off with a prayer now, because I just know the beauty in prayer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just put God first, boo. Like, that's my whole like way of life now, you know what I'm saying? Just putting God first, boo. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, you know what I'm saying, like the miracles, you know what I'm saying, that God can do for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember one time when the church had gave one of the I don't know what it's called, but like an outside ministry, when we walked through the neighborhood, and I had walked with the church at that one time,
right?
And Daddy was there, and I just was watching him, you know what I'm saying, like, walking up the guys and talking to guys, and I'll be like, man, Pop's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I could do that, you know what I'm saying? But now, like, what I know is like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what God was using them for, you know what I'm saying? So, I was just thinking about that the other day. So now it's like, now I can really like envision myself doing that, because now it's like, I want to get out there, I want to do it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have a strong desire to save the young from the harsh realities that I experienced, growing up. So basically assisting other people with their lives and like starting a ministry with my wife. Well, with you anyway, you know what I'm saying? That's a passion that we both share together. And, I also want to give back to the communities that I helped destroy. You know what I'm saying? So that's where, that's what I envision, right now. But I do want to just say this honestly, that I realize that I'm much greater than the bad choices, that I've made, throughout my life. So I just want to just really just better myself that way that, I could, be a better father, a better husband, you know what I'm saying, a son. I just want to just better myself, bro.
Our family goals are to be together as one, once again physically. Also, like, our goal is to continue to minister as a marriage couple, being able, because we're not ashamed to say what we've been through in our marriage. We're not ashamed to share. We're not ashamed to give our testimony. So our goal with us is to write a book, continue to share our experiences, what we've been through. So we just need to see where to start from there. But we've always talked about that, about writing a book. And I just feel like God has us in a place where He has us to begin that journey. Also, my deepest prayer is for God to bring everyone together as one, the entire family, even His, bring everybody together as one.
Revelations 12:11 says, "And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony." And Shalisa and Tavon have a powerful and rich testimony, as we have listened in episodes 1 and 2, and then on tonight. There was a certain theme that I heard, and that was commitment, love, patience, forgiveness, confession. We heard that over and over again in each episode. And, that's just something that we all can learn from and take heed to. And just understanding that we have a testimony, we have a story, we have a past. And it's not anything that we have to be ashamed of or embarrassed about. But if we just have the freedom in Jesus as He sets us free, to be able to tell our testimony, tell our story, to be able to help someone else, and maybe help someone else to not make the same mistakes that we have made. So the same goes for Tavon and Shalisa. They have opened up, they have shared, and we've gotten a glimpse into their lives, and just the richness of their testimony is able to help others to be encouraged in their lives if they are facing those same situations.
What I can appreciate is they didn't gloss over. Yes, things are a lot better now than what they were before, but tonight they were candid about the challenges that they experienced. And one of the things that I heard consistently was about the power of prayer and about the inclusion of Christ in their relationship. One of the scriptures that is often used during wedding ceremonies is in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, and it talks about a cord of 3 strands cannot be broken. So as we share these scriptures during the marriage ceremony, we're talking about the husband and the wife as 2 of the strands, but Christ being that 3rd strand. And so it's so important for us to be mindful of that. We're making commitments to each other, but we have to recognize that we're also making vows before God. And the only way that those vows can be honored is if we keep Him in the center of our relationships.
Another element about their story, Tavon and Shalisa had similar experiences with their dads, as far as their fathers not being present or being in their home with them as they were growing up, and just how that kind of had a negative impact on their lives, especially in their decision making. But listening to their journey, to their story, we were able to hear the story or the testimony of forgiveness, and being able to forgive what happened, and being able to restore their relationships with their father. As we know in the past episode, Tavon was able to see his father in the hospital, and for Charlisa, her father, as we know, Leroy, we too were able to experience his life and his struggle in and out of church or whatever. But for Charlisa, she was able to restore her relationship with him. And this last time before his death, we know he had a few years where he really dedicated himself to Christ and being able to restore himself. And he was a great testimony to others who were in the streets and dealing with the same issues. So we just thank God that the power of forgiveness on the part of Tavon and for Charlisa, and just being able to forgive their parents and being able to move on from there.
Mm-hmm. Psalms 27 talks about when my mother and father forsake me, then the Lord will take me up. And so just like them, many of us can attest to the fact that sometimes our parents may not be present, and even if they are, the nature of our relationships with them may not be healthy or productive. And so we are grateful to God that in those times or when those breaches occur, the word of the Lord tells us that that's when the Lord comes in and becomes to us what we need him to be. And so I believe that even in the absence of Tavon's dad, even as Elder Leroy went through his challenges and struggles, that the Lord was with them. And as a result, as you said, they were able to get to the place where they could have conversation and build and become stronger in their relationships.
So as we prepare to close tonight, we want to honor Tavon's request for literature, for materials, for books to read for himself and his fellow inmates. So if you would like to be a support to that ministry, we ask that you would give through Givelify or through Cash App. And when you give, if you could please just include a note, type in a message to let us know that that's what it is for, specifically for that purpose. And we will be sure to use those donations to purchase books or whatever they may need to send in to them. And we would greatly appreciate it.
We also ask that you keep Tavon, Charlisa, and all of their children in your prayers. As you have heard, this will not be the end of their story. Charlisa has expressed the desire to put their story in writing together with Tavon. And also, Tavon is very zealous to be able to get out and evangelize and to witness. So whether or not that happens while he's still behind bars, or should the Lord allow his sentence to be shortened, either way, we know that he will share his testimony and others will be blessed and ask, what must I do to be saved? So we ask, please lift them in prayer as they continue on in their journey of living through loss and living in love.
Please keep us in your prayers, along with Upstream team led by Troy and Javonna Salmon. And they are the ones who have put together all of these episodes for us. And as we move forward to future episodes, we're asking that you will continue to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, as we continue to inspire, teach, and transform the lives of men, women, children, and families to walk in their God-given purposes. We'll see you soon.